Mate, we've just got another subscriber.
Really?
Yeah. Should we sack this off?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's give the people what they want, mate.
Come on then.
Shirts.
Check. Beers?
Check.
Should we do this?
Let's do it.
Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Grassroots podcast. This is episode 3. So first I want to say thank you to everybody for liking, subscribing and sharing to help us do this again and again and again.
We are on the hat trick.
Hat trick heroes. Cheers, mate. So this week we'd like to talk a little bit about tournaments and football tour as well.
Football tour.
Yes.
Hence the beer.
It's fresh in everyone's mind. Tour is as well, because I've got a couple of parents. I don't know if you have, but I've got a couple of parents asking.
We're
me
already looking, I think, for next year.
Have you've got some ideas?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to tell you about one of mine.
Oh, okay.
So I saw it the other day. I think it came up on Facebook. I think I might have sent it to you, and I think you've just completely ignored it because all we talk about is the Grassroots.
I do remember.
Yeah.
I did ignore it because I was jealous.
Mediterranean tour.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. But all in, it's steep by the end of it.
Yeah, it will.
Because you've got to think about your spends, you've got to think about everything. But yeah, south of France football tour for Easter. I'll go as the Easter bunny. Honestly, I was, but I've got parents that are definitely not going to want to do it.
Yeah, that's when it gets a bit expensive, isn't it?
Well, it's expensive. Some people probably haven't even taken. I know that some people haven't got passports.
No.
Yeah, so it'd be a big one. But I might put it out there to them still.
Oh, well, you can do that, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to do though was try and keep, and I'm sure it's probably the same for other clubs, when you've got loads of different age groups, or like think about Abbeymead. Think how many teams they've got in the same age group. Yeah. Do you try and keep them all together? Which I think would be nice if.
Yeah, personally,
I think
it's nice.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's a bit of team bonding as well, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Well, for when some of yours drop down in mine.
Beer bonding.
Yeah, not a lot of that, mind, if you take Winnie on tour. He's in bed at 8:30.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, some of us got early starts, haven't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, going off the back of ours then, we did Bude this year. A brilliant tour. Wow run. We went with SCI.
Yeah. Great
company. It's our second one. We done Western the year before.
Yeah.
But the parents wanted to have a little bit further away, make it as a tour, because Western's only like an hour down the road for us normally.
I know, it's half of what's on my radar.
Yeah, but what a brilliant tour. I mean, there's not many times on a football pitch that I've been in tears, but that is definitely one of them.
Yeah. Oh mate, I was there. It was mint.
My heart rate. So a little bit about it. There was 10 teams in our group. We played 5 games on the Saturday, 4 games on the Sunday. Top 2 played into a final. The first day we won 4 out of 5, lost the second from last.
Yeah.
Then we went into the Sunday knowing that winning all 4 would put us through.
Contention, wasn't it? Yeah.
Won the first 2, and then it was basically top against third, I think we was at the time.
Yeah.
And I found out that it was actually, the team was called London Colney Colts, which I found out after it was where Arsenal and Watford train. Yeah, so we went into that game and my little superstar scored an absolute worldie. An absolute worldie. And I say that, what a strike. I'm in tears. My heart rate's like 170 odd. I just can't cope.
You couldn't.
I just couldn't cope.
You were just crouching on the side, and all I could see was you going, "Oh God, my heart."
Yeah, I remember saying to Foxy, I said, "Look, you're gonna have to speak to him at half time because I can't. I just can't speak to him."
It was tight.
And we won, and basically that put us top. And going into the last game, it didn't matter what happened, we would have stayed top. And so this is the part where I want to talk about Grassroots. For me, we got to the final. We won the group. I felt as if we was winners already.
Yeah.
So I sat all the parents down, I sat all the kids down, and I said, what is it that you want to do? Because personally, I feel like we've already won. So basically it was seven aside?
Yeah, it was
7 aside. we had 11. So we had 4 subs. So I said, it doesn't matter what happens, every child plays in that final.
Yeah.
Regardless of the score. So what we did is we picked our 7, the 4 was on the side, and then at half-time we swapped over. At half-time it was 0-0. And I had no doubts that I was going to change it. And I think if it was me personally and my child had sat for a final and not played a single minute, I think I would have had something to say. And all the parents agreed. They said, we're happy with whatever your judgment is. I said to the kids, I sat them down and I said, look, this is what we're going to do. You all need that experience.
Yeah, I didn't envy you making that decision either. And I said I would have done it differently, didn't I?
Yeah.
Because, so for context, we took 2 players from my team. One of them was my boy, like so that he could have his first tour. And he doesn't play bad football. The other one was another lad in my team who's a bit of a baller. He's played a couple of games for you anyway. And I think really he could justify his place in your team.
Yeah, definitely.
Preston almost could at times, but then that game was too big for him. I think in that tour. But to try and give everybody a game is really hard work at the best of times. When you're in that situation and you're like, oh my god, like we could actually win this. And I think if it hadn't have changed, probably would have.
The way the game was going, certainly in the first half, I'd like to think.
But I think everybody really appreciated it, and I did as well. To see him in that final, it was massive.
And I think, like I said, every child, if you're in that situation, deserves to play a final.
Well, they had all played throughout the whole tournament anyway, and they had all earned their place.
Yeah.
They had, none of them had not contributed to a goal.
No.
I don't think any player in the team hadn't contributed to a goal.
Maybe one. Sorry, Cove. But when you're on 20 quid a goal, that's where you play in defence, my boy.
Love it.
But yeah, it was never any doubt. And the experience after it. And what I quite liked about it, the kids was gutted, but it wasn't like we're in floods of tears, we've lost a final, because the way I worded it, we'd already won.
Yeah.
And I think that was...
Well, and they still went, I mean, they got their runners-up trophy, and that's like pride of place on Preston's
definitely.
shaft now. It was massive for them.
An experience that, well, they're literally on the way back, people are texting me saying, when's the next one?
Yeah.
So we must have done something right.
Yeah, everybody was keen. Yeah, everybody was keen. Mass was exactly the same. So we've got to sort a tour. That's the first thing that needs to happen when we get back.
Brilliant.
But unfortunately, they don't have the dates released for a couple of the ones.
No, yeah, we're waiting on a couple of dates actually.
So you're looking at Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that might be realistic enough for us and far away enough. You got the beach and everything. Well, I went to Bournemouth not long ago. They got a Bournemouth Eye.
Yeah. Well, two of the parents, certainly one definitely, or one's moved up, are from Bournemouth. So he's like, I could take you to all the places. It's like, don't have to tell me twice.
There's like 4 places in Bournemouth.
But yeah, so going back to the SEI, brilliant tournament, well run, and then we had the surprise guest, and it was none other than Robbie Earnshaw. And I'd like to tell the viewers at home, it is true that I am actually taller than Robbie Earnshaw.
As is half of his team.
Yes. But nice guy, signed, done all the signatures.
He was really accommodating.
Yeah.
A couple of the kids went, they had their shirt signed.
Yeah.
And one of the kids, I don't know if you saw it, he took his shoes off, he had his shoes signed, then he went back and went, oh no, I'll get the other shoes signed. He had his socks signed, I'm
sure somebody had their phone case done.
Yeah, everything. Only I don't think there was a thing that wasn't
And
signed.
to be fair to him, he didn't say no to any of them.
No, he didn't.
And I think his time was up, but he stayed and he carried on.
Time. Yeah.
Really good.
No, he was good as gold. He signed all their trophies, everything.
I love it the most when they announce it. And I think was it his record for having hat-tricks in every
and all
division. All the kids are like trying to work out who it is, and I got a good idea it is, and then they said he was Welsh, and it's like, yeah, I know that is. They say Robbie Earnshaw, and everyone's like, Robbie Earnshaw.
I know, the kids are all like, Ronaldo?
But yeah, top bloke. Huge credit to that, and like I said, it's a very well-run tournament.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, I can't imagine that's, we do our own tournament, don't we?
Yeah. And
that, I didn't have much to do with organising it. All I did was bring a bin lorry. And that was fun. But yeah, they put a lot of effort into that, and to have that whole holiday park as well.
Yeah.
It's so good because all the teams are there. All the kids were all playing from the day we got
Literally,
second we got there.
As soon as we parked at, my boys was gone.
Oh, well, Preston was wearing that white kit.
Yeah.
Straight through him like that.
I remember coming out the back into because everyone was sat inside because it was nice, wasn't it? And you look down and there's 2 goals, and in the goals there's just 2 swamps.
Yeah.
And there's all these kids just covered, and Preston had a white kit on.
Oh mate.
Which kit do you have on though?
Oh, that City kit.
Yeah, so it's not
Year of the Dragon, so I was quite glad. To be honest.
And a bad thing, is it?
Yeah, no. We got to soak that in bleach, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just already looking forward to the next one.
Yeah. So, when is the next one?
Well, I think it's going to be the same sort of time as we done
early May.
Early May, bank holiday. Yeah.
You can't beat that. I don't think. And we had the weather.
We had amazing weather, really, didn't we?
Well, we had amazing weather considering I was in a tent.
Yeah.
Honestly, the best thing was when I got there. Pretty much everyone else had arrived. Everyone's having a beer, and I went there. And I went to check in. That was rapid as well, and they just said, "What team are you with?" Broadwell. Yeah, perfect. They didn't even ask my name or nothing.
Well, it must be to do with the admin on the way.
There you go. But they gave me a welcome pack, and I saw somebody get their keys, and I went, "Oh, you haven't got me any. I've got no keys in my welcome pack." And she said, "No, you just unzipped the tent." And I know I had actually said that I'll have a camping pod, and then it all hit me, and I was like, did I need to bring my tent? But luckily it was like this safari tent. It turns out it was better than the caravans in my opinion. It was class. Yeah, it was really nice. It wouldn't have been great if it's hammering down.
No.
That walk to the shower block is rough. But the kids actually like that. It's kind of enjoyable really. So should we talk about tournaments then?
Yeah.
Where do you want to start with? Should we start?
Well, I'd like you can start then basically because this is your first time.
Yeah.
I've done a few now. I've had some good ones and some not so good ones. So I'd just like to think, being in your first season, then how have you felt tournaments have gone?
Let's start with the first tournament we did was the Broadwell tournament.
Was that your first one?
I think so. Yeah.
Because
Preston had gone to ours is early. Preston did go with you to Cinderford one.
Yes.
I wasn't there for that. But from the Broadwell tournament, I've got to say, one of the best things to be involved in. It is hard work.
At the end.
Yeah. I know. As soon as that last whistle, yes. But obviously, because we split ours across the 2 days.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the kids did brilliantly. I had 2 different teams in the tournament, realistically, that I just swapped out. So I swapped 5 for 5 and just said, you're gonna play this game, then you lot will play the next game. It gave them a break because it was boiling as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah, it was baking hot. And both lots of kids did brilliantly. I saw an absolute wonder goal and Jace was reffing it. And so one of the kids has come across, he's whipped the ball from his own half, it's curled in, and then you just see one of the kids slide across, and he's just nipped it in on the far post. And Jace is reffing, and he turns and he's going, never seen a 50-year-old man do that.
I found it really hard, but especially when you're reffing like your home team. So what I found really odd last year, so Hardy was playing for Liddy at the time, and I was reffing that game because I sort of asked, because I was doing reffing down to ref, can I ref his game so at least I get to watch him play? And I remember it was probably a couple of minutes into the game, and he took his touch away, and he's hit the shot, and it's firing in the bottom corner. And as it's gone in, I'm behind him, so I've seen it all, and I've jumped up and just gone, yes! And I'm like, composure, and Hardy's like, Dad, I've done it! Because it was his first goal, and I've gone, high five, and I've gone, game face, right, back to centre circle. And I'm like, what a weird, just a weird moment.
Loads of weird
because
emotions.
It was his first goal, and he was so hyped, and his face, when he turned around, and I just remember to give it a big old fist pump, and I'm like, right, it's back to Broadwell. And it's the same when, like, the little ones score, like I said, home team. It's just a great feeling.
I celebrate if I'm reffing or not.
But I would like you to tell me about your coaching skills with that free kick.
So it was Jace's daughter's. I think that might be her first tournament actually.
Possibly then.
Yeah. So she went into the under 8 side,
Yes.
She would be in under 9s, which they can play down here as
Yeah,
girls.
yeah.
So she's gone into the under 8 side, one of Dan's, and they were playing. It was the game against the 2 sides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and somebody fouled her in the box, or just outside the box, and she wasn't going to take the free kick. Dan actually said, no, Pearl's got to take it. And she's put the ball down and she's just gone to run straight at it. So I said, no, take your time, you've got it, because I was reffing the game. And I just coached her through it a little bit. I am taking full credit, but I've just told her to come to the side, told her where to hit the ball, and honestly, it couldn't have gone better, because she's hit it and it's just curled straight in. Top corner.
Yes.
And I got to see her celebrate. Like, she's literally didn't know what to do with herself, but way better celebration than Preston. Instead of the she's sprinting towards me. I've got this clap. There's a lovely photo.
Yeah,
of it
it's
as well.
a brilliant photo.
It's really nice. And she sprinted towards me, massive clap. And it was just a magic moment. Really,
and
really
that, again, we say it all the time, but that is what grassroots football is all about.
yeah, to witness all of that is it's magic.
Like you
really.
said, to be there. But I'd like to go on the other side of it. Under 14s, 15s.
Yeah, that was where I was going to get to.
I'm not even that tall. Well, I'm not tall, but some of them are massive.
They were all taller than me.
Like
There was one player for Sling, and I think he was 6'4".
massive, wasn't
Yeah, and good feet. What's it? Good feet for a big lad. Absolutely class, though. I've got to say, they had a hard time in that tournament because they came up against some really good sides.
There's a good standard there.
Oh, really good standard. I was genuinely. You said the same thing. I didn't know where to stand.
No, I didn't.
I had no idea. I had never reffed an under 4. I'd never reffed anything above an under 9s game at that point.
It's a lot different, isn't it?
Oh my God. Everyone said to me though, like Foxy said, he had a couple of. I don't know if he had players ever go at him or coaches. I actually found everyone good as gold.
That's got to be into your reffing, because
they couldn't have been nicer, to be honest. But I tried to make a bit of a laugh of it, really.
Yeah.
Whilst it was a competitive tournament, you can see how it's going a little bit.
Yeah.
And you've just got to, what's it, the rub of the green? You just got to say, hang on a minute, I haven't. And I would literally, there was at one point, a ball's come onto the pitch from another pitch, whilst a corner's been taken, and one player's kicked a ball into the ball that's come onto the pitch to knock it off, and both balls end up pinging off, and they all turned to me and went, ref! And I went, I don't know what to do. I genuinely said, what are you looking at me for? And then the coaches... I said, we'll go back to the corner. And then they were all going, oh, mate, I was in. I said, you were nowhere near the goal. And then their coaches had a laugh with me about it. I said, I'm sorry, guys. I've never even read a rule book. Simple as that.
I don't think I've ever read that.
I saw a thing on the chase. There was a question on the chase. If a direct free kick ends up in your own goal, so if you take the direct free kick and it ends up going in as an own goal, do you know what's awarded to the other team?
Well, it's like a corner.
A corner, yeah. Who would think? I
only know that from seeing
because you saw the same clip. Yeah,
I said I football 30 odd years. So
yeah, I've never even heard of that rule. But yeah, that's the tournament.
Where do they get that from? Where does that even get made up?
Oh, I don't know. That would be ancient, wouldn't it? What did he call it? Archaic rule. There are some weird rules in football, but I don't know any others other than that. So don't ask.
Send them in.
Yeah, send them in. Actually, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Send in your archaic rules. We'll rate them because that one's awful.
Yeah.
As for the tournament, it was. I think the Broadway tournament's not just because we're wearing the badge, but of all the tournaments I've been to, from this season, and I know it's my first lot.
Yeah.
Best run. I think it went really, really well. Everyone was really informative. The only people that made it an issue were me and Winnie, because our games all ran over.
We weren't sure how long he was playing.
No.
One minute it was 10, and it was 12, and then we played one at 8. And just, hey, we was just enjoying it, weren't we?
Just enjoying it, and the kids were enjoying it, and that's all.
The only reason I done it, I was in a step challenge. So I just like keep going up and down, isn't it? But yeah, I because it's easy for us to say because we see it, but like credit to everyone behind the scenes. Because
of course.
What they do, like the organisation, it's even everything, even down to the car park and ordering the stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's the thankless task, isn't it? The car park?
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants that job.
No.
So there was the Broadway tournament. I've been to a couple of Welsh tournaments, which are very different. not just in how they run. I mean, the one was at, I don't want to pronounce this wrong. I can't remember if there's two L's, so I don't know if it's Chisbury or Lisbury. All right, it's Newport Way.
Yeah.
Only kids tournament I've ever been to that's got police there.
Well, that's a warning itself.
It was, but everyone was good as gold. Everyone was nice as pie. But the Welsh rules are different to English.
It
rules.
takes some getting used to.
If you've never played them before, definitely. I've now played a couple of games from my under sixes in Welsh rules.
Yeah.
One lot being the weekend just gone.
Yeah.
But in this tournament, when I turned up there, I didn't hear a tannoy to tell me to go over for my chat, so I hadn't heard anything to do with the rules. I'm literally in the dark. My team are all turning up real late because it was a nightmare to get in. Huge tournament, by the way, and fair play to them for putting that on. I don't know how many people were there, but there was genuinely hundreds of kids playing football.
All ages up.
All ages up. So it went from sixes up to 16s. It was huge. But across, so it was across 2 days.
Yeah.
They used a school there, really, really big, and it was well run. But after not hearing the tannoy, I then find what pitch we're on, go over to the pitch. Goals are very small and everything's coned out. Yeah. Whereas on ours we used the main pitch and
we managed to get
we managed to get 4 pitches across the main pitch, all marked out.
But I suppose if you're saying that as big as that, that's a lot of line marking.
It's a lot of line marking.
And
everyone knows we're not going to be doing that. So it would be. Yeah. But everything's set out with cones, so you just feel a little bit disjointed. The kids are always a little bit humming and hawing. The ball hits a cone a lot because they use those massive ones. They just carry. Well, I do. I always say that because, as it turns out, you ref the games yourself.
Yeah.
Or between the two coaches. And as soon as I was told that, I thought that is a recipe for disaster. Welsh are passionate, and so are English. And honestly, I just said to them, every single coach at the start, I asked if they were happy to play with 6 as opposed to 5 aside, because it would be nice to get as many.
Majority say, yeah, didn't it?
Loads of them did, and everyone was really accommodating, really good. I didn't have one argument with any of them. There were a couple of fouls. Both of us always agreed. I can't fault anyone. So it was a good tournament. But personally, I don't agree with the way they play football. There's a lot of kick-ins. I don't enjoy the kick-in rule at that age, especially when realistically you're just getting a free kick.
Yeah, it's like
we scored from 2 and it got disallowed.
If you're under the cosh, it's easy to get out.
Yeah.
So it's almost advantage to defending team.
Of course it is. Which is nice, and I like that they want the kids to dribble in, I think. They encourage them to dribble in because it's dribble and kick in.
Yeah, and just smash it, don't they?
Yeah, they do. 99% of them do, because a lot of players weren't from Wales as well. There were other English teams there.
Oh, was there?
Not many.
Oh.
Not many at all. It turns out nobody had heard of the place from up here. But nobody had heard of Broadwell either.
Yet.
Like and subscribe.
Beat me to it.
Yeah, it just didn't. Some of it doesn't sit well with me. I didn't enjoy it from my boys. They play headers, but we don't play headers. We had the same thing in Bude, didn't we? And it cost our boys because we were one of the counties that they trialled the no header rule, and our boys in Bude, the ball came towards their head, and some of them weren't they humming and hawing until the one bullet header goal.
Yeah, and literally like. It's a whole new podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Heading.
Yeah.
I mean,
that I think it is. Actually.
I personally, I'll just say a little bit on it. I don't see it being a problem to a certain degree. If a ball is bouncing up and you knock it forward, I mean, that's not going to give you any sort of concussion.
No.
It's the goal kicks out the hand when it's up in the air or it's been booted high in the air.
Yeah.
I personally think I think we could do it as like an overhead rule.
You said this to me before.
Yeah.
Nothing above.
Yeah.
Above the area.
Because like Tour, we scored 3 headers. I remember at the start of the season when they first brought the rule in. Our striker's running through. Literally, he's bobbled up. He's knocked it forward with his head, caught it on the half volley, sweet as a nut, top bins.
Goal disallowed.
He's gone off celebrating. I'm on the touchline going, "Wow, ref." no goal.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and goes, I've got to. I said, oh, look, I'm not disputing the rules. I just think you're taking an absolute worldy goal off them. But it's a tough one. I can see why they done it. I can see why they done it.
Yeah, I know all the rules, but I think you're right. I think there could be a whole pod on it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But that is where I'd like to have somebody on.
Yeah.
For and against.
Yeah. Good shout.
So again, if anyone out there is
Anyone
team for it and team against it, let's get an army together.
We'll be able to find a couple.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, definitely be able to find a couple.
But yeah, it's a weird one. I just think it causes more problems. Like the kids don't know where to go.
They're like this when the ball's
and the feet come up higher.
Yeah.
I don't know. You found it, especially with the little ones. The feet are coming up higher, and it's just
Wow, I'd love to see one of my under sixes trying to do it. They ask to all the time, and
they was asking.
So training. I'll just chuck them a little ball, and then they do this. It's absolutely class. But they had their first tournament this weekend.
I did.
Stowe, you were there.
Glimpse a little bit of it.
Yeah, they won 1, drew 1, lost 2. That's massive.
Well, to be fair, that's where the most of cheering was coming from. So
I
thought he was doing all right.
Yeah, the parents were loving it as well, and they were all. I had some nice messages from them after. They were all really happy to see. They wore a kit for the first time.
Yeah,
it was all of this. That's the one I think.
Definitely. Yeah. Team photos, they love it.
Yeah, it's really good.
At that age, that's why I think like tournament football is perfect.
Yeah, it's
they
really
all
good.
walk away with them little medals.
And it's not long games or anything, is it? So they got a real good day of it. They run around in between. They got ice creams. They got this, that, the other. They get like you say, a medal at the end. So I suppose it's not tournament football; it's festival of football.
Festival football, yeah. But
at that age, I think it's good. I like the inclusive, but I don't know what you think about competitive tournaments at that age. I wouldn't at under sixes.
No. I personally think from 9 upwards. Yeah. And again, it's difficult, isn't it? It depends where you are with your team level.
Yeah. We went to a competitive, but we got spanked.
Yeah, but like for us then, where we're lucky to be a decent standard, I would personally like
a couple of competitives.
And I think next year I'll definitely go into solely competitives, only because we've done under 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, all tournament football, and some of them have got 4 medals from the same tournament. Do you know what I mean? And it's little things like that. And I'm not against it in any way. I just think from a personal preference, I think I would rather.
It might be nice to come home with a trophy if you can.
Yeah, if you can get that far. Like we've had a couple of competitive ones this year, and I will say that the Hucklecote one, what a brilliant idea. So there was 4 groups of 4, and top 2 of every group go into one cup, and then the bottom 2 go into what they call a shield. So there's always somebody having knockout football, which I thought was brilliant.
That's really good.
And everyone was like, we're all in a knockout. So no one went home after like 3 games. And
that's really good.
Really good.
It's quite inclusive still then, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that way around it is a good idea, because realistically, everyone's playing at their own level then.
Yeah. It's another for and against, isn't it? There's loads of people think, oh no, they should all get something. But like you say, like you've got some ballers. Yeah. And they kind of deserve to get that bit more recognition.
Yeah,
sometimes.
and
I think every kid deserves.
It's hard, isn't it? Because I think it teaches them that you can't always win.
Yeah.
As much as you can try, you don't always win. You don't always get something at the end of it.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's just really it's a really difficult one. It depends where you are, team ability. But that one, the Hucklecote one was brilliant. I think, because like you said, everyone was included.
Yeah, I've really loved tournament football actually for the kids. I've done both, and I'm going to do a little bit more, like you say. I'm going to do a bit more of the competitive, but I do want to keep the other in just so they get some medals and stuff.
Yeah, I think
because I'm not going into any expecting to win a trophy.
I think my parents boycotted me a little bit this year anyway, because the year before I think I'd done like 14 or 50.
Yeah, I did.
I only managed 8 this year.
I think we did 6 in total.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not.
The trouble is, I made the mistake of we would do Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
So it was like the whole weekend, and I think a couple of parents just had a bit of enough of it, which I totally understand.
Well, it's money as well at the end of the day. It's not like they're free.
No.
Because it's on top of subs.
And then you got to buy the ice creams.
I think I spent upwards of 200 quid on ice cream.
Easily.
Well, I have easily. The last round was the cheapest one I've had, and that was still 38 quid because it was for the sixes.
Yeah.
And I didn't have as many of them. The Alwood tournament, 60 odd quid.
Which one did you go to?
Well, the other one, he turned up for 5 minutes. I want to go back to that because it was the funniest thing ever. Turns out somebody else had arranged an ice cream van and a lot of stuff for the tournament before, I think, leaving the club.
I think so,
Yeah, and then I don't know if anyone knew about this ice cream van, so they booked another ice cream van to turn up. And when this ice cream van turned up, they went and asked the first one to leave, so the other guy got a chance. They had a written contract, so fair enough, fair cop. So they've gone and said to him, sorry, she's got a contract, any chance you could leave, we're really sorry. I think they offered him like the deposit or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
And he didn't reply, he didn't say anything, just pressed the thing and just played his tune. Just like looked him blank in the face and that's amazing, isn't it?
It was an experience.
Yeah, I loved it. But yeah, so I didn't go to him. And apparently he was cheaper, so that sucked. But no, what about you? How's tournaments been for you this year?
Yeah, I find it good. Just sometimes tournament football, I find some of ours just need a bit longer to get going.
Yeah.
Like sometimes some are 7 minutes, some are 10, some are 12. But yeah, we done all right. We got to a couple of quarters, and I think we got to one semi-final, but never competed towards a final, if you know what I mean. Apart from tour.
Yeah.
But that beats it. That beats it all day long.
Yeah, I don't think it matters then, does it? If you've got the one, it doesn't matter.
No. And at least then you can just go straight home. You don't got to wait for a medal. Mac is on the way home.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, I've enjoyed them, and I think I'm just going to be a bit more picky the season ahead.
With the tournaments?
Yeah. Which ones we enter. But I quite like the look of that 3v3 one.
I've seen loads of this. So, like, it's on the Facebook groups. It keeps
Yeah.
on. And Legs said to me about it as well. He said it's really good fun.
Yeah, he said the kids are absolutely knackered after.
Yeah.
But
It's a lot, isn't it?
is it futsal?
Futsal, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which is the blow-up one, isn't it? But yeah, they do quite a lot, evidently.
It's posted weekly on some of there's the football chat, coaches chat, on Facebook. But in the under 11s, it's on there quite a lot.
Yeah,
See it
and
on there.
I see that he's expanding into Worcester as well.
Yeah, I've
So-
seen it on there. I think I've seen it on the Hereford page as well. I've seen it on the South Wales one as well.
So yeah, I might try that next year.
I might give it a go. It depends on. You've got to be honest, haven't you? It depends on the kids that you take.
Yeah,
really.
I think that there's a decent standard now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's players that are just used to just knocking around triangles the whole time.
Yeah.
Whereas mine aren't used to knocking around triangles the whole time.
No,
as
it's
we
quick
found out.
football, evidently.
Yeah, we found that out the other day. It's we took all the wrong positions, and Preston ended up being ill as well. So he played 1 minute of football and then said, "No, I'm just going to be your assistant coach." Yeah, which I wish really that I had I had Mass there, and thank God he took over for the 9s.
Yeah.
Because the 9s and 6s were playing at the same time. I found out about there was a space last minute, so I said, yeah, I'll do it so that they get a tournament.
Yeah.
But I was running from one pitch over to the other, then over to Preston because he's ill. And I was trying to spoon feed him cowpole and then run over to these and pick the team, watch that game, run over it, try and outmass with the other game.
I asked Mass when he finished, I said, how'd you get on? And he just kind of ignored me and went straight to the bar.
Yeah, he literally did as well. He did say to me about how hard it actually is.
I think that was a little bit, not an eye-opener, but realisation maybe of just how difficult it can be. Because
I've thought this before, I don't know what your thoughts are. I would love to have each parent have a go at it. Just once.
Yeah.
Each parent have one go at it. I don't have any parents, before any of you go mad at me, I don't have any parents dispute any of the team selections I do. I've never had any problems with it. They've been good as gold. But sometimes I just want people to be like, oh my God, you do such a good job. So I just want them to have a go at it and go, do you know what? Hats off, mate. Don't know how you do it. One of them, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, the trouble is, I've got real bad OCD, so I probably wouldn't be able to let anyone
I'm a
have
control freak. I said that to Mass actually when he said, because obviously we divided into 2 teams just to give the kids the chance to all play as much football as possible. Like you said with yours, you've gone up a year to give them all the chance. And yeah, Mass said to me that he'll help because we've got 3 coaches on the others. He said he'll help me out. And it was just nice to have that, I think.
I think saying it and then doing it is definitely 2 different things.
Yeah, and that's what I said to him. It was nice for him to come in and say it, but I was like, that's fine, but I'm a complete control freak. So you could give me as many suggestions as you want. The problem is,
I'll tell you what was funny, because we done the same at Chepstow. We took 2 teams. So I remember there was pitch 1, 2 and 3, literally. So I'm on 1 and Fox is on 2, so he got his. And I remember looking over and Fox is stood there and the next team's got like 6 or 7 coaches. Yeah. And I remember saying to the parents, I said, well, if anything kicks off, I said, we're all going to have to go without Foxy. Because he's literally stood there on his own and there's like at least 6 or 7 coaches.
Some of them, well, do you remember Bude?
Yeah.
Yeah, so many of them were turning up with 3 coaches, but then, had you guys arrived? Because I went down early, didn't I? And I watched Cam's lot.
Was this the
little scrap?
Tussle? Me and Stowe went to go and get coffee, come back, and it was literally like, must have just finished. Oh, but so I remember just seeing like grown men in like no tops.
Oh, mate, bear in mind before that, they were wearing dry robes. Or like, it was like a Wenger coat. So you had one team, and you know they're big time. They all played great football. Can't deny them that.
Was it the final?
Yeah. Right. So they set up, and this is where grassroots coaching goes wrong, actually. It's a good point to go on to. They've got one of those cameras, was it the VO?
Yeah.
VO camera, what a bit of kit. If you would like to sponsor our podcast and possibly provide us with a camera and a free monthly subscription, that would be class.
We would plaster it everywhere.
Yeah, but a great bit of kit. They set it all up, and as soon as I saw that going up, I thought, yeah, these boys play out from the back. And they did. The game kicked off. Great game between the 2 sides. One side was winning 1-0. And I couldn't tell you what had happened because they had started playing the final whilst there was another game going on.
Right, okay.
So I'm kind of between the 2. And the next thing I know is I see the 2 sets of 3 coaches. They're squaring up to each other on the pitch. So now I think one lot's gone over to have a go at the ref. The other lot are coming over to have a go at them. And then one's being full on held back as he's literally ripping off his dry robe to swing at them. In the end, they abandoned the game and both teams were told not to go to collect their medals.
And the problem with that, regardless of what dispute you have on the side, the only ones that suffer is the kids.
Exactly. Those kids weren't allowed in. No. They had to send a representative, and they had both they were the first and second, like same for our lot. It was the top 2 teams. They were first and second in their group, and they've gone there to play a final, and it got abandoned. One team's obviously going to go away saying, "Oh, well, we won it 1-0," but they actually just got a participation medal. That's all they got. There was no runner-up trophy in that one. No, nothing.
And I think because I remember speaking to someone in the club after, and saying like, it's the right thing to do, and they said because all you got to do is invite them in,
couple of beers,
and it's just going to kick off again.
Yeah, of course it would.
But like that sort of side of it. So, but again, it was so well dealt with.
Yeah, really
well dealt with, considering like how bad it was. Like I said, we just caught the back end of it, and it looked bad then. He said grown men walking in no shirts.
Well, you felt for the ref, really. Good job he was wearing shin pads, I think.
that joke will be made clear eventually.
Yeah, one day. You've got to keep listening to the pod if you want to know anything about that.
But yeah, like I said, tournaments, I love them. I love tournament football.
Yeah.
We done Quedgley as well. That was a good one.
Yeah, I saw a lot about that actually. And they had a girls section as well, didn't they?
Had a girls
That's
section,
good.
Yeah, it was. That was a well-run tournament, to be fair. Went out on penalties.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, nasty way to go, but
that is really rough.
It is what it is, isn't it? But again, what was quite funny, and it's another good example of grassroots, right? So we go up to Quedgley, we're like, so they had the main pitch, it's all boarded out and all that, and then there's like almost like, but what we got here, just like an area then. Halfway is cut immaculately, and then the rest of it's like that long, and you're like,
we had that with that game, didn't we? Yeah.
And he said, like, are we on that bit? He goes, no, you're on pitch I think it might have been 5, and you're like, okay, that's pitch 5, grass like that. Why come we're not on there? Basically, the council had only agreed to cut half the pitch, or like a boundary or something. Oh,
it's rough, isn't
it? The other bit was like
You'd
an absolute carpet.
Yeah, but you'd think as well.
I'd say no more than 20 minutes to cut it all.
Yeah, exactly. He's on a ride on, isn't he? It's not like he's turned up with his little push along mower.
But yeah, that's another great example of grassroots.
Well, we had it with the game, didn't we?
Yeah.
We played at the same. Where was that game?
Hardwick?
It was Hardwick, I think, wasn't
Yeah.
it? And the 11v11, like genuinely, what a lovely looking pitch.
Like a carpet.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was like a pool table. Boom. And then you come down, and we had there was Cinderford under 8s playing.
Yeah,
I saw them. Yeah. They were in a cow's meadow. Same for another team over there. Was another Broadwell side that actually gone along. They were in a meadow. You ended up playing on one of those meadows, and I ended up playing in a school in the end.
And it was cut nice.
That was cut perfect. So we did really well out of it, to be honest. Just because there wasn't enough room, so they said, "Oh, come on through here." But
yeah, to be fair to the coaches, they turned up and they was like,
yeah, they were just as annoyed, weren't they? Yeah.
and 2 lovely blokes, great blokes. Actually.
Yeah, they are good.
Shout out to Dino. I know you're listening.
We hope you're listening.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. I like how I've adopted it this week. It's good.
You own it, mate.
Yeah. Speaking of, like you say, what we've got out there, might as well talk about where we are as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah.
So this is the home of Colford FC, but unfortunately, because of all things grassroots football, funding, lack of players, lack of volunteers, they've had to fold.
Yeah.
So they don't even have a side anymore, which is a shame actually, because it's one of our bigger towns, and that's a scary thing, I think.
Yeah.
When you think Broadwell does well, I used to play for Whitecroft, and at one point it's a very small village.
Yeah.
We had 4 sides at one point. COVID hit us quite hard there.
Yeah.
I stopped playing after COVID, and
the team benefited.
massively. They went down to one side actually. They condensed because I was playing for all 4. But COVID hit a lot hard. Colford was still going quite strong really, and I'm surprised that they don't have a team anymore. But we've kind of adopted the ground
And the facilities.
Yeah, which is brilliant for us.
And the good thing is, like you said, there's toilets here, and and some of the mums get in here and do teas and coffees.
Yep.
Which
so thank you very much for that.
Yeah, it's a godsend in December, January.
Well, have you ever tried to do it and put the teas and coffees on?
I remember getting here, putting the urn on, and then I just sort of like, whoever rocks up first, I say, there's milk in there, and I'll have a coffee. But I make sure if a car comes, I'm down the other end.
Because I was like, so I must have to make teas and coffees then. So I was like, all right, okay, what I'll do, I'll go and set up a warm-up, get somebody doing that, I'll make it. And I was like, I'd made a few of them and just hoped that people would come in and buy them. And in the end, right, I had 2 people buy teas and coffees. I bought 5 coffees myself.
It's when you get here, and you can ask any of my parents, I get on Heya, Edger, and I'll be like,
Asia.
Can somebody please go and get some milk? Because you rock up here and you're like, there ain't no milk. Because obviously it's not used through the week.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're lucky we've got a 5, 7, 9 and 11 side pitches out there.
Yeah. Soon to be marked, probably.
Soon to be marked.
Yeah. I know that we're going to get told off about that. But a quick thing about the little competition, we've had a few more entries, and if you could just keep them coming in, just send in an entry for the Grassroots logo. I keep looking like it's going to be an emblem, so I'm almost trying to give you an idea.
That's what we want.
Yeah. But it's just a logo for our socials and for the podcast itself. We'll put it up on the socials and use it wherever we can. And the winning child or adult, if you really want to have a go, that's fine too. But don't take the mic. You'll get a football shirt of your choice.
Shirt,
yeah. So please send them in to info@thegrassroot. That's ROUTE.co.uk.
And just for me, like, if you can share about, the more it gets out there.
Yeah. Or just keep. You don't even have to share it that much. Just keep like watching the videos. If you scroll all the way down on TikTok, then all the way back up, then all the way back down. Apparently that's a thing.
Yeah, like you said, we have got some plans that we want to do.
Yeah, loads, absolutely tons.
We've got a lot of ideas.
A lot of ideas. Luckily, very good cameraman.
Yes.
Just need you to like and subscribe.
Please.
I'm going to plug it like man. Okay, on that then.
Yeah.
It's up the blues for me.
It's up the clarets for me.
Up the wah.
The markers are left out there. And archery. Let's go.